Hello, I welcome everyone. I am Jeline Rani, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Bishop Eco College. I welcome everyone to this e-content on a short topic, Abscission. Shall we begin? Yes, we'll go. The moment if I say the word summer, which comes into your mind? Okay, now watch the video. I hope you might have seen these things in your day-to-day life. During summer, trees are shedding all their leaves. At that time, the leaves are withered away from the plants, and the shedding leaves are looking yellow in color. Is it so? This is nothing but the process of abscission. It is the shedding of various parts of a plant such as leaf, fruit, flower, and seed. Abscission is an act of process of cutting off. It is defining as it is a process that initiates the removal of a part of a plant following the formation of a protective layer or a scar tissue that prevents the entry of pathogen and protects the inner tissues from desiccation. Here in this slide, the exact location of abscission layer is very visible. Here in this slide, this is the anatomical view of the abscission layer. Leaf abscission is a very common phenomenon. In annual herbaceous plants, abscission is confined to bracts and floral parts like calyx, corolla, and androecium. Evergreen trees shed leaves in any season, but deciduous trees shed leaves in autumn. Now you watch this video how deciduous trees are shedding their leaves during autumn. Let's watch. I hope now you got an idea about the definition and the cause of abscission. Now watch a short animation video about the reason with which the leaves are changing their colors during the fall. Okay, let's watch.
You've probably heard that leaves of deciduous trees change color in autumn because they lose their green chlorophyll molecules, allowing the underlying yellow and orange pigments to shine through. However, this doesn't explain why the leaves change color in the first place. Deciduous trees drop their leaves each year to avoid the high cost of winterizing them, but this seasonal shedding would be too wasteful to be worth doing if the trees lost all the valuable nutrients they laboriously extracted from the soil to build their leaves earlier in the year. So each fall, deciduous trees recycle their leaves before dropping them. That means taking apart cells and photosynthetic apparatus from the inside out in order to recoup their nitrogen and phosphorus and store it in twigs and branches until next spring. This is actually really tricky because as the disassembly starts, the chlorophyll molecules that absorb sunlight for photosynthesis are still absorbing the sun's energy. But with no photosynthesis happening, they end up passing the unused energy along to oxygen molecules, which become dangerously reactive when energized. These molecules wreak havoc, damaging the parts of the leaf that are in the process of recovering and transporting nutrients back to the rest of the tree. To keep this destruction to a minimum, leaves break down their chlorophyll into less dangerous molecules that are typically transparent, though sometimes yellow. Either way, with the bright green molecules gone, yellow and orange pigments that were there all along helping with photosynthesis are no longer overshadowed, and ta-da! Yellow and orange leaves. Some trees take an extra autumnal precaution against chlorophyll-induced destruction. As the leaf dismantling starts, they build new special pigments to shade chlorophyll from sunlight until it can be broken down. These new pigments tend to be red or purple in color, so trees that use them have red leaves in the fall, sometimes insanely bright red. In the end, these exquisite gold and russet displays help deciduous trees recover as much as 50% of the nitrogen and phosphorus from their old leaves to help grow fresh new green ones in the spring. They are perhaps the world's prettiest recycling plants.
I hope now you got an idea about the abscission and how the plants are shedding their leaves. Okay, now we move on to the abscission zone. Okay, some changes occur at the base of the shedding parts, which ultimately cause the separation. During the abscission process, the exposed part is protected by the formation of a protective layer. The protective layer and the region of separation, that is the abscission layer, are collectively termed as the abscission zone. So this zone initiates the process of abscission. Abscission zone is designated and prepositional to facilitate shedding. So in leaves, abscission zone is formed at the base of the simple leaves and compound leaves. In compound leaves, this zone may also be formed at the base of petiole of leaflet. So here in this slide, that the abscission zone is very visible at the base of the leaf. That is nothing but the petiole of the leaf. The abscission zone, that is nothing but the separation layer. So here you may see the two things are very visible. So here one is nothing but the separation layer and another one is nothing but the protective layer. So these two put together, they are called it as the abscission zone. So this zone is the very cause of the abscission process. Now we are going to see the exact mechanism behind this process. Auxin is a primary growth regulator produced in the leaf and slowly transported toward the stem base through living cells. Abscission occurs after a fall in the ratio of distal to proximal auxin. So in this slide, it is clearly mentioned the proximal and distal end. The one which is very close to the stem area is called proximal end, and the one which is far away from the stem region is called the distal end. So the abscission does not occur with auxin gradient, characteristics of a healthy mature tissue with a high auxin distal to the abscission zone and low auxin proximal to the abscission zone. Abscission is accelerated when the gradient is reversed. So here in this slide, you are seeing the gradient is getting decreased in the older leaves. So if you are considering the younger leaves, the auxin production is great. So here in this matured leaf, the auxin production is getting reduced. So auxin and ethylene have been implicated as the prominent regulators of abscission signaling. These two compounds work in a synergistic fashion. So as the IAA level decrease, the flux of IAA to the abscission zone is reduced. Exhaustion of IAA makes the abscission zone sensitive to ethylene. So when the plant is then exposed to ethylene, gene expression of cell wall degrading enzymes such as cellulase and polygalacturonase are getting activated. So ultimately, it ended with the abscission of leaves and formation of a scar which prevents the entry of pathogen. So this is the mechanism behind the abscission. I hope you're all watching the video and enjoyed the session and you know about the abscission and its mechanism. Thank you for watching.